Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Wanted to talk to you today about VR&E, Veterans Readiness and Employment, and some of the qualifiers to get into that program and what you kind of need to think about as you're going through it. It is not a guaranteed benefit. You do need to have a 10% rating or higher, or really have something substantial, barring your gainful employment with a 0%. This is a benefit that pays out not only the school while you, if you need to obtain any sort of education, but it also pays out a monthly stipend that varies. Your stipend could range anywhere between, going full time, anywhere between $1,000 to over $3,200 per month, and I'll dive into that too. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. This is important information for you to know, not just for yourself, but let's say you run into another veteran, right? A brother or sister out there that you could share this knowledge with them, right? At least enough so they can look into it. So with that, again, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Every thumbs up helps, and every minute watched helps to push this information out to more. All right. This is directly from the VA's website. I'm going to kind of read through it, give you my 2 cents along the way. So kind of, I don't know, broaden the definition, if you will. So eligibility for Veterans Readiness and Employment. Here it says that if you are a veteran, are you eligible for Veteran Readiness and Employment, VR&E? Now, I'm going to throw out there, first of all, if you have any other educational type of benefit, post 9/11, for example, you want to try the VR&E track first. Typically, if you're going for education, it's usually because you're trying to make more money, get a better job, that type of stuff. So Veterans Readiness and Employment could offer you education benefits in order to bridge the gap to appropriate employment. Save your post 9/11 GI Bill or other educational benefit for after the fact. Now, I'm going to read through this and explain more why on the way. So, you are eligible to apply for VR&E benefits and services if you meet both of these requirements. So, in that first sentence, it's important to understand, look, not everybody's even eligible to apply. You have to be a couple things in order to apply for VR&E. So again, it says you're eligible to apply for VR&E, not even get it, just applying for the benefit and services if you meet both of these requirements. 2 bullet points here. You didn't receive a dishonorable discharge. Okay, well, that one's kind of a give me. We most of us know that. The next one, you have a service-connected disability rating of at least 10%. So you're looking at a 10% rating. Now, moving on, it states here, when we receive your application for Veterans Readiness and Employment, we'll schedule your initial evaluation with a vocational rehabilitation counselor. The counselor will determine if you're entitled to receive VR&E benefits and services. So here's the couple different things, right? You're eligible to apply if you have 10% rating or higher. The counselor, the VR&E counselor, will determine if you are eligible to receive the benefit. So there's a couple barriers in order to get this benefit. Moving on, if you were discharged from active duty before January 1st, 2013. Now, this is a big kicker here. This is one of the most important criteria for VR&E. If you were discharged from active duty before January 1st, 2013, your basic period of eligibility ends. So it has an expiration date. 12 years from one of these dates, whichever comes later. Okay, so they're going to give you the benefit of the later of these two. The date you received notice of your date of separation from active duty, or the date you received your first VA service-connected disability rating. Okay, that is typically going to be the one that folks are going to utilize, the date you received your first disability rating for service connection. Now, what's going to happen is that you have a 12-year period, and that's if you exited the military prior to January 1st, 2013. Now, what happens if you discharged after January 2013? January 1st, 2013, the 12-year basic period of eligibility does not apply to you. There's no limit on your eligibility, so you can go anytime. Now, there's no age restrictions. There's no age restriction at all. So that means that if you, just to use easy numbers here, if you got out of the military in 1972 and you didn't receive your first VA disability compensation entitlement until 5 years ago, that means that you can apply for VR&E, Veterans Readiness and Employment. Okay. Now, if you're still on active duty currently, you can also get you can also apply for VR&E, except for you have to have a 20% or higher pre-discharge disability rating. That's a memorandum rating, and you will soon leave the military. And the other is you're waiting to be discharged because of a severe illness or injury that occurred while you were on active duty. So you're going through the med board process, most likely IDES, so the Integrated Disability Evaluation System. So moving on, here we go. I'm going to jump over to what kind of services you can get, and then I'm going to jump into the dollar figures. So what kind of VR&E services can you get? Well, depending on your needs and goals, services may include a complete evaluation to determine your abilities, skills, and interests for employment. They utilize that to figure out if you need additional education to get your new job. Professional or vocational counseling and rehabilitation planning for employment services such as job training, resume development, and other readiness support. They'll help you find and keep a job, help finding and keeping a job, including the use of special employer incentives and job accommodations, on-the-job training, apprenticeships, and non-paid work experiences, post-secondary education, and training at college, vocational, technical, or business schools, and as well as supportive rehabilitation services, including case management, counseling, and medical referrals, independent living services to help you live as independently as possible. So here is one of the great things about this program. What they're going to do is they're going to determine what is the best type of job for you, with your input, and what sort of educational barrier is there for you to get that job. Now, in some cases, it might be that you need to go complete your bachelor's degree or a master's degree or whatever, and so you can move up the chain or land a different job somewhere else that makes sense for you. In other cases, it could be a program that gives you all the training you need, a training program, and get you into a job that way. Now, there's different types of training programs out there. One of my favorite ones to talk about is the Automotive Dealership Institute, and they have a month-long program in which they train you nuts and bolts and all that stuff, all the stuff you need to understand how to be a finance manager in the automotive industry. Now, it's not just automotive industry. It could be RV sales. It could be mobile home sales. It can be motorcycles or off-road vehicles, whatever, right? Tractors. So you have a finance manager at all of these different dealerships. So it's kind of like being a dealership finance manager. And they put you through this 1 month, and then they'll help you find a job. And they can make, depending on where you're located, anywhere probably up to over $200,000 in some cases. So just depending on the location. So keep that in mind, that you don't just have to go get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. In some cases, you don't need to do all of that to land the type of job that you would enjoy. So just kind of keep that in mind, and I like to give that example because it really gives you a stark difference on the two different kind of routes that you can go with regard to education being the gap filler. All right, so it says here that if I am eligible for, this one's important, if I am eligible for GI Bill benefits, can I get paid the post 9/11 GI Bill subsistence rate for my VR&E program? If you are participating in a VR&E program, so you're eligible to apply, you apply. You meet with the counselor deems you eligible and puts you in the program. You can choose to get paid the GI Bill subsistence rate instead of the Chapter 31 subsistence rate if you meet both of these requirements. Both of these must be true. You have at least 1 day of entitlement remaining under the post 9/11 GI Bill. And you're within your GI Bill eligibility period. In most cases, the GI Bill rate is higher. You'll need to officially choose the GI Bill subsistence rate. Your VRC, the counselor, can help you with this. That is huge. And why is that huge? Because, again, if you heard correctly, 1 day of post 9/11 GI Bill, if you have that in your GI Bill bank and you're still in your eligibility period, which in some cases it's the forever GI Bill, then you can utilize the GI post 9/11 GI Bill rate. Now, here's the numbers. And by the way, if you are going to a program that is going to take you a year to complete, we'll say, then you're going to get that rate, that post 9/11 GI Bill rate, the entire time you're in the program. So that would be 12 months of the GI Bill rate. Now, as far as the rates are concerned, for the Veterans Readiness and Employment, if you have 1 day of post 9/11 GI Bill remaining and you inform the counselor to officially elect the post 9/11 GI Bill payment, the maximum monthly rate for the subsistence allowance is then $3,251.38. If you don't have any post 9/11 GI Bill remaining, or you did not officially request to be paid under the post 9/11 GI Bill, then if you were going to a school in a full-time capacity with 2 dependents, your subsistence rate is $1,123.23. So it could be a big difference depending on your geographical location on how much you get paid. And as the VA said directly, look, in most cases, the GI Bill payment rate is higher than the standard subsistence rate. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.